Yo everyone, it's Krebs here, your favorite Company of Heroes caster. I mean, why else would you be coming back to watch my videos? What is wrong with you if you're coming back to hate on me? Obviously there must be something tantalizing, something hypnotizing, I don't know. Maybe just enjoy my videos. But anyway, welcome back to the show. It is Krebsy's birthday today, and lo and behold, I'm making a video on my birthday. What a sado I am. But I did the exact same thing last year on my birthday. Made a video on that day. And again, doing it today as well. I guess it's my birthday present to you guys on my birthday, why not? Just before we get started here, I need to tell you guys I'm going to be going down to England for business and also to celebrate my birthday on Thursday, and I'm going to be coming back on the Monday next week. So, I know some of you are probably already screaming like, Krebs, does that mean no more videos? Does that mean no more Company of Heroes for a few days? We're gonna die here. No. There will be videos. There will be videos. I'm going to be preparing some videos in advance. Not as much as I would normally do if I was here, but there'll be some videos to keep you guys going. Not every single day, but maybe every other day, alright? So, you know, hold your trousers on, okay? Keep your, hold your horses. You'll be fine. Right, so what do I have on offer for you guys? Well, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. It's going to be a gameplay footage of a game I had literally just like 20 minutes ago. I've still got the adrenaline pumping through me. This was an absolutely awesome game. As you guys see, it was versus a level 17 Axis player. I'm playing as the Soviets this time, and I'm level 11. Haven't really played the game a whole lot in recent days. Got so much going on. Honestly, so much stuff happening in my life right now. I've playing a variety of games and let alone trying to learn them has probably been not on the last of my priority list, but it's been a little bit pushed back at the moment, you know, sort out my priorities right now. But yeah, this game is it's pre-recorded footage. I've never done a cast over pre-recorded gameplay footage. I've done casts over normal replays, but not a game itself like this. So something a little bit different, but it's good. It is good. There's going to be some really tense moments. I'm going to try to explain everything that I'm doing, my thought process behind it all. So, the first few units that I built were conscripts. I suppose technically I could get another engineer squad. The nice thing about the engineers and the conscripts is that they have long-range rifles, whereas the SMGs on the pioneers for Germans have SMGs. I just prefer having those longer range rifles. It just means that the Germans have to run towards you, get up close to you in order to actually start dealing damage, and that time to actually run up to you, well, they might actually get badly injured. So I prefer the conscripts rifles, if anything. I built a few conscripts rather than another engineer squad, and that's just what I prefer. Stupidly placing down a mine, just looking at it and deciding to cancel it because in this early stage of the game, there's not going to be any vehicles out, and that mine that I was placing there, I actually quickly read the description because I didn't know if it was either an infantry or tank mine. It's only against vehicles, so no point of actually putting that down over there. Not like a vehicle is going to head in that direction, especially this early in the game. So cancel that, save my munitions, why not? If you noticed, in the early game, I took my conscript squad, or sorry, my engineer squad, down south to that fuel point, and then I connected it, not with the manpower point that was beside it, but one that was connecting it, so it's like a cutoff point. Actually, in fact, if you look at the mini-map right now in the bottom left, that point has been cut off, and so I don't have those resource points down along the south. You can see that reflected in my actual resource income at the moment. So yeah, I've been cut off, and that's actually a nice thing, because you don't actually have to connect, you know, that manpower point and then the second manpower point after that and then the fuel point to get all those resources. You just need that cut off manpower point, and that connects all the way down to that big fuel point. So in terms of time saving and timekeeping, yeah, go for it. If you want to, you know what I'm speaking about, hopefully I haven't confused you guys, but just go ahead into a game on this map and just go into the tactical map. You'll be able to see the tracers of the territories, and you'll see what I mean about the cutoff point connecting to that fuel point. Anyway, conscript squads, I don't really know what I'm doing at the moment. I think this is going to be a bit of a futile effort. I just want to try to take on that grenadier squad, but surprisingly they're so hardy. Yeah, I remember one of my latest casts, I was sort of complaining during it that a Grenadier squad managed to take on 2 of my conscripts, and some of you were like, well, of course, you know, you got on your high triumphant, triumphanty horse, and you were saying, of course, Grenadiers are more superior, conscripts were just pulled off of the street. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, they're pulled off the street, but I mean, 2 squads. This is 12 men versus 4 men. It's Grenadiers, for God's sake. They're not Knights Crossholders like Company of Heroes 1. Jesus. So it was a bit funny, in my opinion, that I lost that engagement in the other replay. But then again, there are a lot of mitigating circumstances. You know, rushing a point whilst the Grenadiers are on cover. You know, yada yada yada. There's so many stuff that comes into it. I just thought it was a bit strange. So, my opponent's definitely not dumb. If you can see that your opponent is actually cutting you off in a variety of places, then you know that they're good, okay? The nice thing about going for the USSR is that you're going to have a lot of infantry out in the field, and that means you're going to have to cap, okay? Because the thing about the Germans is that from their first tier building, which they no doubt are going to get, they get a variety of units, including MGs, mortars, so stationary units, right? We can agree that stationary units, not all of them. They can get, what else can they get? They can get, no, they can't get Panzer Grenadiers. Don't think they can. God damn it, Krebs, why do you have to forget stuff? And they get Grenadiers, what am I on about? They get Grenadiers, they also get some other stationary units, okay? And so they have a choice to get in those stationary units, whereas the USSR, they don't really get that unless they go for a specific building, the second building. I can't remember what it's called, the support, let's call it the Weapons Support Center, because I can't remember what it's called. So the USSR sort of has a choice, and that means they're going to have, near enough all the time, they're going to have units that will be able to be mobile at all times, and capping around the field. So you take advantage of that fact. You're going to be capping, whilst your German opponent might have stationary units kept up in certain areas, and generally they'll be defending areas whilst not capping. So, you know, try to make a bit of comebacks here and there. Scout car out for the Germans, and that's a little bit of a pain in the ass. The sort of nice thing though, from my past experience, scout cars aren't the absolute best, even when they get upgraded. They're not like the armored cars for the PE or anything, you know, they don't massacre infantry. So what I did was I upgraded my AT grenades for my conscripts and simply just lobbing them. I thought it was a little bit strange, but it looked like I almost actually lobbed a grenade, an AT grenade, past my range, okay? Obviously you can only, you know, hit a vehicle that's within your range, as in you guys have to run up to it, and then as long as it's in the range, I'll throw it. But I've actually noticed that whenever a vehicle gets out of the range after you've targeted it, they still throw the grenade, and it still lands on the vehicle. So, kind of interesting little fact. I don't know if it's meant to be like that, but lo and behold, at least I managed to damage the engine of that scout car, chase it away effectively, didn't finish it off. Got some snipers out. The thing I love about conscript snipers, yeah, fair enough, they're not the most accurate out there. Honestly, there's a lot of times they'll miss infantry, but the nice thing is that they have survivability, okay? They still get shredded to pieces. You'll see this later on, just how some of these snipers die so quickly. But, nice thing is that they have better survivability than the German one, because there's simply 2 guys in the squad. So one guy could die, you could retreat the other one, and there you go, as long as the squad's still up. So far in this game, I've only lost 1 conscript squad, and that was on the retreat from the engagement a little bit earlier when I was taking on the Grenadier, and the MG was in the house. Kind of frustrating stuff. Whenever... I don't really understand this part. Say if you're behind a fence and your guys retreat, they'll automatically look for the most shortest path to which retreat through. And that doesn't mean it has to be a direct line. So what happens is, if there's a fence in the way, they'll run around the fence. But realistically speaking, if you're trying to get away from someone, wouldn't you go like the fastest direct line, and that means like hopping over a fence? I don't know. I personally think that like if it's going to be retreating, you might as well take a direct line, and it should automatically make you jump over fences. That's my opinion. Don't have to agree with it. That's what I think anyway. But because I had to run around the fence, that meant my conscript squad died. Is it just me, or does it seem like infantry in Company of Heroes 2 can die a lot easier on retreat? Maybe it's just me. Anyway, scout car down south just trying to harass me. Notice how it's got its gun upgraded. So it has that big cannon. You can see that there. Attacking my pioneers inside the building. Pioneers dead, unfortunately. Damn it! And I'm just trying to run away with these my snipers. And it's like, oh no, maybe he won't be able to catch me around here. But he just crashed through the fence. And I'm on full retreat right now because the last thing I want to do is lose my snipers. I guess one nice thing though is the vehicles in Company of Heroes 2, they don't move quite like the ones in Company of Heroes. Like in Company of Heroes they're a lot more fluid, they could easily catch up to your infantry. Whereas they feel a lot more fidgety in Company of Heroes 2. Don't you think so? Like it takes them a while to actually like move around, turn, and generally it's infantry can get away from them easier. That's what I feel anyway. I'm there's a lot of I throw a lot of opinions into my cast, don't I? So anyway, guys, I'll get on to explaining what I'm doing at the moment in just a second. I think I'm upgrading a penal squad, and I'm gonna admit it right now, I have no idea what I'm doing. Honestly, when I built this special rifle command, I was sort of stuck between either this building or the second one, the support center, whatever. But then I sort of realized, well, you actually get different infantry from your special rifle building command. So that's why I built that one instead. And lo and behold, it's going to be really, really useful because penal squads, they're good at taking on infantry, at least from what I remember. But that's about it. And at this point in the game, when there's scout cars out in the field, penal squads getting replaced by my shock troops? Oh, God, I wish I could remember these things. But from my doctrinal infantry, as you can see, I locked them, and now I've got the ability to get them. We'll figure out what their names are in a second here. Maybe they're shock troops. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But they're gonna be no, it's guards rifle. It's guards rifle. That's what it is. It's not shock troops. It's guards rifle infantry. They're quite good because they have actually AT rifles. And at this point in the game, that's going to be quite useful, as you can see right there. Guards rifle coming out into the field. They're going to be quite useful in countering these vehicles on the field, scout cars and whatever else might come. Because right now I'm just relying on AT grenades, and you can't just completely rely on AT grenades. They're quite expensive when it comes to munitions. And yeah, they do a lot of damage. They'll usually damage, what do you call it? Modules as well, but they won't really be the end all of a vehicle. So at least I have my guards rifle out to counter this stuff that's on the field, because otherwise I'm nowhere near any vehicles at this point. I don't even have the required buildings to get any sort of my required vehicles. And if I got a half track, a scout car, whatever, I think it's the M5A1, it wouldn't have any chance against the armored car, because the armored car is upgraded at the moment, so it would tear apart my half track. See, there you go, guards rifle coming into effect, taking out that armored car. But then you see right behind it a Stug. Oh dear. I mean, these are AT rifles. They are really good, but again, they're not the most powerful AT out there. It takes a while to destroy more heavily armored tanks. So, kind of a bad position to be in. Now at least I've got my tier 3 building. I think it's like the Tankovi something building. I need to really learn the names of things. But I got my T70 out of there. Maybe not the best counter against the Stug. Definitely not the best, actually. But the idea behind it is, I'm obviously not going to use the T70 to take on that Stug. It would just be a massacre unless I go running around it doing laps. So the idea behind that, going for a T70, is to just harass around the field. Sometimes you don't have to take on a unit directly, okay? If you realize, if you're in a point in the game where you realize, I can't take on this Stug because I just don't have the stuff necessary to take it on. Fair enough, I got guard's rifle, but there's nothing that can actually lock it down. He could easily retreat it if he wanted to. Just nothing to lock it down or do severe damage. So if you come to that point, fair enough, you don't have to take on that Stug directly. What you can do is just ignore it and fight elsewhere on the battlefield. So sometimes, like in Company of Heroes 1, and I will say this in certain casts, not usually recent casts, but I remember a long time ago I used to say, if you're losing one side, sometimes there's just no point of even go back onto that side, because you could keep on, you know, bringing your infantry onto that side, and it'll become stagnant. In fact, sometimes you'll end up losing. I'm sure you'll have been in those positions before where you keep on trying to hammer one side, but nothing's happening, it's not working. So what you should try to do is throw off your opponent, go on to another side, and try out-capping them there, and that just forces them to mix up their infantry, forces them to come onto that side to try and take you on, and makes them weak on that side that you weren't able to cap. So the same idea, the same premises revolved around here, applies to this situation. If you can't take on the Stug directly, well, just ignore it. Just go camp around the field. He invested in tanks, so he's not going to have as much infantry or whatever else are on the field. Okay, so just defending, a little bit of a futile effort again. Activating my Wii ability. Don't remember what it's called, like Inspire or something like that. I don't know. But it just increases the effectiveness of your troops, I think accuracy or something, as they die. So I've never used it before, just wanted to see if it was actually going to be useful, but obviously you can't really get a good impression of it when you're in a situation where it's 1 versus 3, so no point. Lo and behold, my engineer's retreating, and my guard's rifle right there. Look at that, massive damage to that scout car, doing pretty damn decent damage. But unfortunately, a scout car, it can easily go over the wire, that barbed wire that is set down. Blizzard is into effect right now, 30 seconds so far through it. Snipers, great thing about them, they're not affected by the weather. They're wearing these nice white clothes. And oh dear, I think I'm going to lose that sniper. Yeah, there we go. That's what I was wanting to say a little bit earlier. I was saying you can see how easily the snipers die. Yeah, it's snipers for you. I mean, you know, they're good at killing infantry, but then at the cost they can die easily, and that's what happened with that squad. So unfortunately, that's what, 340 manpower, something like that, gone. But yeah, the rules still apply that they have generally more survivability because there's 2 in a squad. Unfortunately, that one had to die though. Okay, so it seems like the majority of the skirmishing is happening down here. First T-34 coming out into the field. This is what I need to counter those Stugs. But still, the Stug is a powerful tank right on throughout the game. The Stug can be powerful, is very powerful against these medium, mid-tier or mid-game units like the T-34. And it's even powerful against later tier units. I've seen T-34s take on my ISUs, for example. You know, obviously my ISU wins, but I've seen a T-30 or Stug take on my ISU and take it down to about half health before the Stug died. So you know, it's pretty good for a single Stug, which is meant to be just like a mid-game vehicle. I mean, you guys saw there that the Axis managed to get out that Stug pretty damn early into the game, way before I even had access to the T-34. So I gotta be a bit careful with it against that Stug. T-34 could die against it. So it's gonna take not a single T-34, but a combination of units, like T-34, my guards, rifles, whatever else I can offer to take it all on. Nice thing I like about T-34, look at that. It finishes off infantry so nicely. In my opinion, I think it's absolutely great. Its blast effect is pretty nice. It's good on taking good at taking on tanks. Good at taking on infantry. In my opinion, it's almost like the Panzer 34 in a way. You know, the Panzer 34 is in general meant to be between an Ostwind and a Panther. Yeah, T-34 is sort of like a Panzer 4 to me. Okay. So scout car coming up north to harass me. And everything is in full retreat. I've got my conscripts on nearby, throwing an AT grenade, damaging its engine, preventing it from getting away. And at that point, I mean, again, from past experience, you guys saw the last game. It was like I had my scout cars and I was complaining, oh god damn it, scout cars, even though you're upgraded, you're not killing infantry, you're barely doing anything. And I sort of know from that experience, well, I could probably keep my infantry nearby, maybe even finish them off with my PPSH. But I think it's coming to that point where it's taking a bit too long. Throw off another AT grenade. I've got plenty of munitions to do it, and there you go. It's dead. Okay. Overall, it's 200 VPs for me and 447 for the Wehrmacht. The Axis, they're leading by quite a lot at the moment. But I've still got some room to work with. I've got 1 VP in my hands at the moment. The center one, pretty much uncontested because I've kind of given up on it. Since I know that the Stug is generally around that area, I don't want to do a full frontal assault at the moment. So, as you can see, like, pretty much around throughout this game, I'm moving stuff up north, moving it down south, just trying to anticipate where is my opponent going to be next. Okay, my opponent obviously wants the fuel down south. That's quite a critical point he wants, and he also wants the VPs up north. So just moving my units in between those areas, keeping my snipers now a little bit more smarter, in a smarter position, keeping them at the back of my infantry where they should have been before. I guess the take-home message is that you always want to support your snipers with infantry. Damn it, engineers! Ah, damn it! Uh-oh, I hear some artillery. Yeah, can't remember what the name of that artillery is, like the Panzer something. I can't remember. But I see that there's a reconnaissance run overhead, so he's probably going to know where my units and my infantry are moving. Luckily, I've got reinforcements heading on up north to try to move on up there. Lots of reinforcements, actually. Look at all those guards, rifle, and conscript squads. That's a lot to work with. But he knows it's coming because that reconnaissance run is no doubt going to be spotting them. And all I'm going to do now is just separate them. No point in keeping them in a cluster. And just making a gigantic orgy on top of a single point. No point of that. Separate them, cap the various points, and keep on going. So at this point in the game, what is Krebs' worries? Well, my worries is he going to get any more Stugs? Because I've got something that can take on his Stug right now, and he's got 1 Stug, but as soon as he gets more than 1, it's going to become quite problematic. Oh man. That Stug is in a great position to finish off my T-34. Unfortunately, I was moving it up north and it went right through the middle. And he had me on the cross. It damaged me severely. A lot of damage taken on my health. And also impairing my engine on it. I'm surprised he actually didn't chase me. Because if he did at that point, I think what he was doing was he was afraid if I would take on or destroy his Stug. But I swear, if he moved up that Stug, he had such a great opportunity. I'm surprised he didn't do it. Knowing that, you know, he was bombarding me, my stuff might have been retreating. I'm surprised he didn't move up his Stug and just finished off my T-34. If he did that, I would have been in a bit of in the shitter at the moment. I would have been in the shitter. Okay, so I'm going to take a drink of my protein shake right now. Hope you guys are relaxing. Hope you're just finishing off your bowl of popcorn right now, or your manwich. You got a sandwich and you put all that mayonnaise and salami and whatever else in it. Krebs is speaking absolute bollocks at the moment. That's some good protein shake. That's good stuff. Hold on, I'm just gonna have a little bit more and then we'll get back to the casting. Yeah, anyway, back to the show. So T-70, help me out. I think what you need to almost do in a lot of these matches is that you have to be aware of where all your units are and just make use of them. So a lot of times I'll have my units sitting in my base and I don't mean to do it. It's usually just a micro fail, but I mean, how much can you do all at once? You need to see what's going on the battlefield and also micromanage your stuff that's been capping around the field and repairing and then reinforcing. There's so much to micromanage, right? T-70 in a bad spot at the moment. Moved it on up forward, but man, Panzer Strike. You should know, Krebs, that Grenadiers can get Panzer Strikes on them when they reach tier 2, and so he's damaged my engine. Unfortunately, that Stug is going to finish him off. He's got that opportunity to do so. And no, it's not finished off completely. It's abandoned. Only requires 2 members to recruit it. If you guys don't know, you can actually depending on the size of the vehicle, you require different men to a different number of men to actually crew it again. So the T-70, since it's a small tank, it's light, it's only gonna be 2 men, whereas like a T-34 would be 3 men. Okay, T-34 coming into the engagement there. Ballsy maneuver for Krebs. I just realized this is a Stug up there, a little bit damaged, so just rammed it entirely, destroyed both of our guns, immobilized both of us, so at least nothing is coming down like that. Just sort of worried because he's got his grenadiers right there that could easily throw off some Panzerschrecks if they wanted to, but or some, not some Panzerschrecks, some Panzerfausts. And you look at that Stug coming up from behind. You can't see it on the screen, but on the mini map there's a Stug, another Stug, a second one that is destroying my T-34. And oh shit, I'm just like, oh gosh, so many vehicles right now. But yeah, his grenadiers, I was expecting maybe they might throw down some Panzerfaust, but lucky for me, a lot of them were upgraded. Okay, they had light machine guns on them. His engineers or pioneers were upgraded, so he must have spent a lot of fuel, and he must not have any to use Panzerfausts on. Maybe, anyway, maybe. Okay, so realizing that the other Stug is badly damaged up there, I use this T-34 to go immobilize this one. Okay, this is becoming desperate, alright? He's got 2 Stugs, I've got 1 T-34. Surprisingly though, come on. His main gun wasn't destroyed! He's immobilized, or not immobilized, he's got a damaged engine, but I got immobilized and my main gun was destroyed. I guess that's a risk you take when you use that ram ability. You're not guaranteed to destroy their gun every time, and that just left him the opportunity to finish me off, simple as that. And he can still keep on moving, albeit quite slow. But at least I've got my AT guards rifles nearby. Oh man, here we go, a comeback is in order. Coming up from different flanks, surrounding him completely. He needs some infantry to counter this stuff right now. But look at that. AT, these guards rifles surprisingly doing really well. You need 2 of them to actually start doing some proper damage. If you could imagine it, I had just 1 single squad, wouldn't be doing nearly as much damage. But that's them finishing it off. Conscript got off an AT grenade on there to add a little bit more damage as well. We got some pioneers who were repairing the other Stug, and it's just a sitting duck. I know it can't do anything, but it's still got an MG on top of it. That's the only thing I'm going to have to be a little bit cautious with. And here we go. Here comes another artillery barrage. I know it's going to be coming in this area, that's why I'm moving all my squads, and boom! Right on top of my guys. I was thinking originally at this time, oh my god, did I just lose an entire squad? Because I saw that the icon for one of my squads disappeared. I was like, oh, for God's sake. But lucky some of those men were a little bit far behind. Slaggers. But at least they were slagging behind. And that leaves me the ability to just finish off this other Stug. And I want to kill his pioneers, but it's not happening. I can't target them for some reason. I must be misclicking on top of his Stug. And that's why I rotated my camera around, so maybe I could get a better angle on it all. But okay, lo and behold, so I lost 2 T-34s, he lost 2 Stugs. Man, I wish I remember the prices of it. I'm not sure if losing 2 Stugs is a bigger loss than 2 T-34s. Maybe it's the same. But generally speaking, okay, eye for an eye, whatever. But now I'm moving out in the field. I just lost a squad there. That was Vet 2. He just lost a squad that I think just turned Vet 3. So again, eye for an eye, but at least I'm moving on up. He's pushing me down south. And that artillery is really annoying me. I'm going to be building another T-34 now. I've got the fuel to do it. Actually, am I building it right now? I'm not even paying attention. I know I'm going to be building it soon. I've completely unlocked all my abilities on my doctrine. What's that? What's the second to the end? For God's sake, I can't even see it properly. I've got Hit the Dirt as well. I haven't used Hit the Dirt. I'm not really sure how good it is. The guards rifles are really good. PPSH good. I can't see what that second to the end one is. And then you've got this IL-2 Sturmovik attacks, and that's what I'm looking at right now. So you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm looking at it because I have no idea exactly what it's going to do. And yeah, generally what it says is that it has what, 27mm or 37mm cannons, whatever. Didn't even read it properly. that comes down on an area, so like a strafing run almost. And I've never used it before, so I don't exactly know what is it going to be like. Is it going to be like something like a plane that hovers around the area and just kills whatever's there? I have no idea. So my sniper's over here, just going to be capping up the VPs, because look how desperate it is. 22 freaking VPs. I'm calling down my ability, that Sturmovik. There we go. It's like a big strafing run almost. Completely missing his infantry, but I guess he got so scared by it. He thought that it was coming for him that he just retreated. He didn't have to do that. To be honest, he could have stayed there and he would have been fine. But as you can see on the mini-map, it just sprays that area over and over. It has these runs. It has strafing runs over and over from different angles. It essentially just says, fuck you to anyone who is in that area, and says, no, you will not be able to capture it. It's okay if I'm in there. I don't think it damages me, as you can see. It doesn't damage my infantry, but it damages his infantry. It kills him. So yeah, I suppose at least for my first attempt at using that ability, I think that was a pretty good location to put it in, just in front of the VP. Scared away his guys. Got my other T-34 on the field, finishing off that oh god, what do you call it? The artillery. There we go. Because I obviously realized it was in a vulnerable spot. It was in a vulnerable spot. I knew that he was keeping it right on the front line near enough the entire time. And there you go, taking advantage of it. Placed down a demolition charge on the top of this victory point here. And just in anticipation if anyone might come in that direction. Okay. Another T-34 out. Looking good for me if you ask Krebsy. I've got 2 T-34s and I haven't seen any other vehicles for the Germans right now. Look at that, the first signs of Panzer Grenadiers, okay? Panzer Grenadiers out in the field, they can get upgraded the Panzer Shreks on it. Luckily, I've got my snipers coming in from the north, flanking from the side, but look at the amount of rockets flying at my T-34 right now. There's one Panzer Grenadier squad being chased away, another Pioneer squad being chased. T-34 very badly damaged. What I should be doing right now is using my reverse ability rather than manually doing that. I'm just still not used to it because I'm used to Company of Heroes. But yeah, I finished off the squad right there of his, luckily, and my T-34 is alive. Wow, so lucky indeed. T-34 barely staying alive from that engagement and still managing to take out a few of his squads in that wee battle there, that skirmish. So moving up my other T-34 because it's got full health, may as well try to harass him. I'm not going for his base buildings. It's actually quite hard to destroy base buildings with tanks. You need a big number of them. Instead, what I'm trying to do is attack his infantry and get some kills off. But yeah, I'm taking a bit of damage, so get that back as well. Here we go. Blizzard, 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 Blizzard. What you guys are going to be noticing now in this game, and just all of your games as well, is that as the game progresses, the the fire pits extinguish over time. Oh fuck, T-34 going down. That's so unfortunate. It didn't have to die. It really didn't have to if I kept moving it back. But the fire pits eventually extinguish, or sometimes they get destroyed in battles, you know, different reasons why. And what you'll notice is that infantry will start freezing, not only mine, but his as well. So one of my T-34s went down, he's got a Stug out. I'm feeling desperate at this point, okay? I'm feeling desperate because I know my T-34 down here is badly damaged, as you can see. Its engine is destroyed, it's got some more health, and I know the Stug is going to be pushing down the side, and potentially other infantry, a whole blob worth of infantry. You guys saw it. It's most likely going to be coming down here. And here we go. I've got, lo and behold, look at this. See, because there's no mortar pits or fire pits, my guys are beginning to freeze. This is why I was trying to move them about. Maybe get them in some yellow or green cover just to stop that declining temperature. But unfortunately, you know, it's desperate times right now. Want to save that T-34 so badly, unfortunately couldn't do it. Somebody's just capping the VP up here, so I destroyed my demolition. Nothing happened. Nothing at all. Kind of frustrating in my opinion, because you sort of expect like a demolition charge you place on top of a point because you anticipate somebody to come in there, but because the point is like a circle, you can be anywhere in the circle. They don't have to be directly on top of it. They won't even be affected by that demolition charge. So that's what happened. Unless they're near the demolition charge or on top of it, then it'll do something, but they were just sitting elsewhere in that circle and I couldn't do anything. I just blew it up anyway. Why not? Maybe I could have killed something. But it didn't look like anything to me. But again, I guess I had a little bit of an advantage here, where I managed to push in on the Vermok, and so I managed to get another T-34 out, moving it on down south because his Stug is damaged, and now I would just want to try to finish it off at this point of the game. So more freezing squads, moving them inside the buildings because that's what I gotta do. Here we go. I guess the 5% bug just couldn't go away from Company of Heroes. It looks like you almost got it in Company of Heroes 2 as well. Near enough. Finishing this. Come on! How many more shots do I need? It's critically every single place in the tank first before it actually destroys it. Man, that is the freaking 5% bug if you ask me. But lucky for me, that Stug going down. Just as I was getting harassed on that T-34. I'm just moving my snipers around. Snipers being so universally useful throughout this game. Getting a number of kills and just helping support against the anti-infantry. And that's what I need right now. I just need anti-infantry. I don't see any heavy tanks coming out. I see lots of infantry. Just some snipers here and there, moving them around to where I anticipate my enemy to come. That's the important part, okay? So I'm going to be grabbing this T-70 that died ages ago now. And try to get that repaired because, hey, why not? Free vehicle? Okay, may as well. Taking that Stug down south would be nice as well to do that. But yeah, gonna get my T-70 repaired. Start using it a little bit. And at this point, it's still quite desperate if you ask me. It's 22 VPs, 197 for the Axes. So they still have quite a bit to work with. And I know, although at this point in the game I've got a good stance, I managed to destroy most of his vehicles, I've got quite a bit more infantry spread out around the field than he does, but anything can happen. I mean, 22 VPs, anything can happen, okay? And it's all about defending these VPs at this point in the game. I'm sure you guys have been in a lot of occasions where you've held on to a game but just barely, and then you end up losing it because they somehow sneakingly, whatever, capture the VPs. So it's all about defending them. Defending. Be careful. Don't give them an opportunity to cap them. And that's why I see that's happening up on the VP over on the on that side. And that's why I've got some spare infantry around this location just to aid me. Oh my gosh, look at those grenades. What the heck was that? That's a Panzer Grenadier grenade. I'd be keen to find out exactly which one that was, because I guess I've never used a Panzer Grenadier grenade, but man, that was powerful. Not only did it have the initial explosive effect, but also has a scorching effect. It finished off 2 squads. One of them would have survived if it wasn't for that scorching effect. Oh my gosh. Absolutely wiped out 2 of my engineer squads, which are important at this point in the game. I need them to repair. Okay. You have 240 manpower. That's quite a bit. Especially when you got so much infantry on the field like I do, so many units that you only have plus 161 manpower, right? Here we go, just throwing more grenades, using that guard rifle grenade ability just to good use, just whenever I can. And the VP's still ticking on down, long game. But I think it's come to that sort of point, like, this is all I'm building. I'm building just the same units. The maximum unit that I'm building is my T-34. I'm not teching up or anything. What I find a little bit hard is, when do I actually do that tech up? Okay? Because a lot of times I'll be playing a game and I'll have the tough choice between either teching up or getting a unit that I can get on the field right now. Okay? sometimes that'll be a bit of a tough choice if you should try to build a building, a higher tier building, then build something out of that. You know, that's all time expensive, right? Whereas you sometimes have to choose between that or if you want to build something that you can currently build, okay? That's why I find it a little bit hard sometimes, knowing when I should do that, when I should take that risk. But anyway, so I've just still got my T-34s. I'm doing sufficiently fine on it. Only thing I'm worried about is if there's going to be any doctrinal heavy tanks coming out. Or even like a Panther I'd be worried about. If there's going to be any elephants, or Panzer IVs, Tigers, whatever. You know, that sort of stuff I've got to be worried about. So T-70 being used to good use over here. Just use moving it around the field. Up north, just defending up there against the infantry. Because I realize they're trying to decap me. They're trying to win this by VP victory. It's all or nothing for them. Okay? Put down a fire pit, so that's like the first time ever I've built a fire pit in the game. So I think 100 manpower to build it, so it's quite expensive actually. But I put it near my guys in the middle, just so they have easy access to it. And I think that can almost be a deciding factor sometimes, you know, you get your guys cover, get to heat them up a bit, whereas your opponent might not have that heat. They might have to retreat or play camperish, just not able to move their guys around, or else if they do, then their guys will die from hypothermia. Okay, so last few points, 41 points and counting down for the Axis. What a comeback! Actually, man, I actually felt like I was going to lose this game earlier on. I mean, it's just seeing those Stugs and how he raped my T-34s at one point, and I had no T-34s. Oh man, I'm quite glad I made a comeback there with those guards' rifle and just everything, you know, the snipers and such. So we've got a GG coming down because it was a good game. I thought we were equally skilled. Probably the best game I've had thus far, especially in a 1v1. And I felt it was good, so just moving my T-34s on up. He obviously recognizes that he's watched my casts before, so why not? You know, that's cool. Play against somebody who is a mystery fan, why not? Alright, so just moving my T-34s in to finish it off what I can, and that is it. That is the game over! GG to Krebsy. Wow, what a crazy game. Yeah. Now, where did he go wrong? Well, I mean, he didn't necessarily go wrong in so many places. He became a little bit campish with his Stugs at some points, where he could have destroyed my T-34 early on. But then again, he was attacking my other T-34 that rammed his Stug, you know, from behind. All I guess he could have done was just try to defend more better, have a better variety of units, maybe like some MGs, more engineers to get his stuff repaired quicker, you know, that sort of stuff, right? But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and until next time, this is Krebs, and I will catch you all later. Right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.